World-renowned chef in for Jackson Public Schools, visiting JPS Food Service and Tahoe Food Service, John Sugimura, along with Brant Russell, Director of Food Service at JPS. Welcome back to the show, John.
Good to be back. Good to see you.
Brant, welcome back to you as well.
Thanks for having us.
So you are here, and interestingly enough, it's AAPI month, and you're doing some education, which the kids are enjoying because it's food. What's the point of and purpose of you visiting Jackson Public Schools this month?
So there's a variety of things. For me, the purpose is when a chef makes food, we have a very specific idea why we like to cook and what we make. But what I think is really kind of the magic of food is when we serve it, when you serve it to 500 or 1,000 Jackson students to see what it can be. And for me, what I witness, what is meaningful to me is that when we're feeding all the Jackson kids, all the students the same thing on the same day, whether you like it or not, the immediate consequence is community. It crosses over everything. Food is the one thing that can bring us together. And particularly the magic of Japanese food, which has just kind of some extra magic to me, and I believe most people would agree. And it's good food. And it's probably not contributing to obesity. And it has a variety of food that people are drawn to. And it's fun and stuff like that. But to be able to bring food to people with a purpose that tells a story, that tells my story, that has meaning behind everything, nothing happens by coincidence. It is all intentional.
Well, what a treat for the students at JPS, and I know for you, you're very excited to be able to do this for the kids.
Yes, a lot. And I think to piggyback on that, I think it creates, starts a conversation with people and allows them to talk about differences and it's just expand their horizons. Yeah, and the staff learn so much too. And the chefs we've had over the last few years, they're all different and they all specialize in different things and come with their own unique set of challenges, shall we say.
Or gifts.
Or gifts,
Yeah,
yes,
so
you could say that.
Our own Brandon Daly has been along for a lot of this past week as he's getting some food circus shows ready, featuring you guys. But I guess I would anticipate kids might say, looking at it and saying, ew. They're used to getting chicken fingers and French fries every time they go out for dinner. They don't try new things. And seeing something that's not familiar, they're scared, right?
In the 5 years that I've been with Tahoe doing the Japanese food around the country, I once subscribed to that thinking. I totally subscribe to it. It's a ew, they're not sure, it's change. And I really think that we've underestimated our young people because I would say now, somebody asked me today, what's like the primary thing that you get from students for doing this food, for Brand inviting me over? And for me, they say some version of thank you because they are looking to broaden their worlds. And sometimes it's us adults that keep them narrow in saying every Tuesday is going to be tacos, every Wednesday is going to pizza. And they're like, yes, we like that. We'll always eat pizza, but that doesn't mean that we're not open to change.
Well, that looks awesome right there.
Yep, that was today. That is what we're serving. The gyudon, the spicy beef bowl, sunomono, the homemade pickle on a stick.
Yeah, it was just intriguing to them, I think, too. It's something different. And, a chef comes and makes it interesting and tells a story. And there's a plan behind everything he does. There's nothing in that meal was not planned out as to why it was there, and it served a purpose. It really did.
I think there's a misconception about what Japanese food is in America because it's the hibachi grill kind of restaurants that we're exposed to, but that's not what you do. How do you?
And hibachi doesn't even exist in Japan.
No.
It's totally a Western phenomenon. So much of what people identify as Japanese food are pure Western phenomena. So, like for example, we gave them a sushi roll sample. And you would say, and here it is right here that we brought for you, you would say, oh, it's imitation crab. And it's a California roll. Well, my master teacher at my school invented the California roll in 1963.
Really?
When when people did not want to eat raw fish on the streets of Los Angeles in the heat. So he actually started the California roll with fish cake. Imitation crab is Western companies trying to imitate fish cake. Not a big deal, but here's the takeaway. We served fish cake today. Fish cake has protein and nutrition. Imitation crab has all 3 bad preservatives and the worst coloring in it. So we took something to kind of turn it around, the misconception, and deliver on something that's very authentic and very real and beneficial and healthier.
All right, you brought that. What's it called again?
So I call it a kamaboko
Okay.
maki. You would call it a California roll.
All right. One of the things I hope to learn sometime before I'm dead is how to use chopsticks.
You can do it. You can. And there's really only 2 tips. You're on your
Okay.
own after this.
All right.
Make sure that your tips are even so that
Okay.
you can pick something up. And don't hold it down here because you have no leverage. These rolls are a perfect example. If you hold it down on the end, you can pick up, anybody can pick this up with chopsticks. Anybody.
Anybody.
See, there you go.
Ah.
There you are, setting you up. I was like, okay, anybody, but it could have been anybody but Bart. But please, I was optimistic that you were going to do it. It's big and chunky and easy to pick up. So I was betting that you were going to be able to do
I
it
can,
just fine.
when you set this down, I could smell it. It
Yep.
smells great.
Yep.
It does have a very distinctive smell with the vinegar that we put in after the rice cooks, and it really is truly a science. You know, the rice, there's so many grams of rice in there and milliliters of water.
It's delicious.
So you're eating that roll no differently than if you ate in my grandmother's restaurant pre-war, Sacramento, California, after immigrating to the United States, or if you were walking down the street in Kyoto in the Nishiki market right now. The rice is Japanese rice. It's properly prepared. The team learned how to properly season it. The fish cake versus the imitation crab. The cucumber properly sliced and diced, and you know what I mean? Proportions, the right amount of rice. That is no easy task.
And the wrap, because when I've had this kind of a roll, the wrap is really tough.
Yep.
I could barely tell it's got a wrap in
Well,
it.
you'd think I set you up. So that is the uramaki, rice on the outside, which also my master teacher invented when people would criticize or didn't like the texture of the tough roll. So the rice on the outside made it more attractive. The fish cake made it more attractive, and it was cooked. And it really is, that's a specialty roll by category, and it's the #1 roll in the world. And Japanese food, if you didn't know, Bart, is the #1 cuisine on every continent in the world right now.
No kidding.
It is. I had no idea when I graduated from culinary school in Japan and everything. That was 2011. I thought I was doing it just for fun, and I would invite you over to my house, and I'd like, let's do more Japanese food. And you'd be like, John, we can eat something other than Japanese. I'm okay with a tater tot hot dish tonight, right? I had no idea how popular it would be. I didn't know. I've been back to Jackson many times. Brant's invited me every time. He's responsible for bringing me, he's responsible to having the idea that these kids should have a world that is expanded to include Japan, to where during my visit we can talk about World War II, we can talk about internment camps, we can talk about Japanese Americans. I can tell my story of my grandmother losing everything, being locked up in the second internment camp for 4.5 years. Fast forward 75 plus years, I am here in Jackson. We're making gyudon, kamaboko. What more? It's exactly why I went to culinary school, thinking that I would be able to do more. I just thought it'd be like you guys coming to my house every weekend. And you'd be like, do a tater tot hot dish next week.
Oh, we can still do that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can eat a tater tot hot
You're
dish. That's why I
giving-
always like to
You're
make
giving
fun
away
of
your
it.
Minnesota
Yeah.
So the food's,
heritage.
kids are eating it. The trays are coming back to the kitchen empty. They're eating the food.
From what I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
When I walked
And-
around, yeah.
Even more interesting about the food, so the kids are eating it, and they're getting, normally they'll get a chicken patty, a couple ounces. They're getting, with the ground beef mixture with all the vegetables, they're getting upwards of 7 ounces with a little bit of rice. So these children, when I want to make it personal, like we want to be advocates
Yeah.
for our young people, these are our kids. We want them to be getting full off of vegetables and protein and not off starch. We are trying to give our kids something else other than pizza, I always said, I probably said the last time, eat pizza yesterday, eat a burger tomorrow, but today we're eating scratch cooking, Japanese food, and everybody can wrap their brain around it and understand why.
How does your staff react? Do they embrace it?
They do. I mean, there's a fair bit of give and take as far as little crap talk here and there. Hence my first attempt at a sushi roll yesterday.
The struggle was real for Brant.
I learned to roll at the years ago in Chicago at Palmer House Hilton. They had a sushi restaurant, Trader Vic's, and I was a master. Some master sushi chef taught me, and I forgot everything. So.
Well, it definitely takes practice.
It does, and you can't. I mean, can you just do this? Because one of the things I remember you being a specialist at is Japanese street food.
Yep.
And all of these kinds of menu items, they evolve from the street, right?
Correct. And what I'm trying to do is, I like to do food that's on the top of the bell curve, so that it is approachable. It's also affordable, which means the districts can afford to prepare it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And it translates so that staff can wrap their brain around, oh, I get it, I understand the why, and I like it, and it's enjoyable, and they jump on it too, and street food is just naturally more approachable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you've been at middle school, you've been at elementary school.
Elementary school tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yep.
Okay.
I'm going to John R. Lewis tomorrow.
Do you notice a difference in the response and with the different age groups?
I would say the secondary is they're about the same. Middle schooler maybe a little more fussy or picky.
Absolutely. Let's just call it. High school, elementary, neutral. Open, expand your world, try new things, give them the background on it. Go to the middle school, it's a push-pull, and I have to work twice as hard to sell it because they need to know more information why change is good.
Really?
And so the world is a little bit narrower.
Well, it must be fun for you because, as you realize, Brant all year long is trying new and cool things. And you even send some things over here that they're experimenting with, which we love. We love that you do that, but we love the kinds of things that you're doing for the kids. And it's got, as you say, it's got a very big part of their education is food.
What I get from, and one of the things why Jackson is kind of a special place, I mean, to be serious. So the district, the leadership in the district, they understand, like it's in their DNA, that nutrition, that why we feed kids good food, why all kids deserve access to good food, and why feeding food that has a cultural story and why cultural competence is important. That's why Jackson is such a great district to visit, because they get it from the school board to the district leadership to the nutrition leadership to the staff that have never even had Japanese, but they understand that it is good to try new things, and I'm open to learning. That's a great place to start, and it's a great place to keep going. So again, over the 5 years that I've been coming here, that's why it's special.
Well, I'm glad you come, and I'm looking forward to you continuing to visit.
Absolutely.
Now, John and Brant and their team will be featured on upcoming Food Circus episodes over the next few weeks. So you'll be able to see the food being prepared, the kids eating it, and some of the behind-the-scenes stories about the food coming up on Food Circus right here on JTV. Thanks for coming over today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Appreciate
again.
you.
And thanks for I can't pronounce it.
Kamaboko.
Kamaboko.
Yep. You can call it California roll. I'm fine
Okay.
with that. Just know the difference, that you're getting the good fish.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was delicious, and thanks for the recipe on the chopsticks.
There you go. I told you anybody could do
We
it.
expect
Wow,
good things when we come back.
There you go.
All right. John Sugimura and Brant Russell with Jackson Public Schools Awesome Food Service. More on the show.